Even though it's winter, now is the time to take hardwood cuttings and propagate your favourite shrubs. In this video I'm going to show you how to take the hardwood cutting, and then I'm going to share with you 10 shrubs that are ideal for this technique, which means that by the spring you could have a whole range of brand new plants rooted in pots and ready to plant out in your garden. Before we get on with the rest of the video, may I invite you to visit my new revamped website at jillbrotherton.com, where we have lots of new gardening related gifts and products which you can buy directly from Amazon. The website is organised into two distinct shops. There's a USA shop and a UK shop, although many of these products can be bought internationally directly from Amazon. You can see a drop down list which will give you the various options depending on what products you fancy. On each page there's also a tab that will take you directly to the category you want. We also have a range of Christmas related designs and colouring books. Our t-shirts come in a variety of colours and sizes, so don't be put off by the colour pictured on our website. If you like the design, you can likely buy it in another colour. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get back to the video. Hardwood cuttings are sections of mature wood taken from deciduous shrubs, and that means those shrubs that sort of go dormant in winter and lose their leaves. And we take them during the dormant season when the sap is not rising, so we cause less damage. And we typically take them from late autumn to early spring. So now is the ideal time. Any weekend over the winter, you can just take some cuttings. To take your cuttings, you're going to need some clean, sharp pruning shears that are sterilised. Rooting hormone, again, that's personal choice. I don't use rooting hormone, and that's simply because I'm an organic garden and I just don't like to buy things in that I don't need. I do have success without rooting hormone, so that's entirely your choice. Pots, obviously, to plant the stems in, and that again must be populated with some compost, free draining, preferably sort of loosened with some sand or vermiculite. And then you need labels, obviously, and a Sharpie or something like that, so that you don't forget which stick is which, because they're all going to look pretty much the same once you've dealt with them. Now, a very classic hardwood cutting in winter is the rose, so let's just start with that. And you cut a section 6 to 12 inches long. You want it to be about as thick as a pencil or slightly thicker, and you need to remove the leaves. And then you look at these nodes and you need a node at the top. So you cut above the node at the top because that's where we're going to get new shoots from. And then you cut just below a node at the bottom, because the node will also be where the root comes from, because this is where the hormones are concentrated in the plant at these sort of branching areas, and they will either branch into roots or branch into obviously new shoots and twigs. You can cut one end as a slant and one end flat, and that is merely to indicate to you which end is which on the plant. I tend to do the top where I expect the branch to come from as a slant, and then the flat on the bottom where I expect the roots to come from, so I know which way I'm going to plant these in the pot. And another tip is I like to get about 6 nodes on the stem, and with the view to sort of burying perhaps about 3 and having 3 above the soil. And then that's your basic hardwood cutting done. So the next step is to apply rooting hormone if you are going to apply it. And if you've cut it, as I said before, you'll be applying that to the bottom bit where we did the flat cut, where obviously we want the roots to come out. I mean, why am I even explaining that? You know that. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. And as I said, I leave it up to nature, and I have success. I don't know whether I have as much success as someone who uses rooting hormone, but I get enough plants for my needs. And since a lot of these plants are being cut back anyway, you're only using a wasted product to create your hardwood cuttings, so it's not like I sort of lose sleep over the ones that didn't root. I just chuck them on the compost heap. All right, so then you need to fill your pot with damp compost, or you can water the root in. In fact, that's probably a good idea to water the root, the cutting in, because what you don't want is air pockets around that base of that cutting, because if you get air pockets, there's nothing to stimulate the growth of those roots. They'll just die. They need the soil and the wet contact against them, covering, preventing the light getting to that part of the stem. All that action from the compost, the wet, the darkness, That's what's going to stimulate the roots. So if you haven't compacted the soil, and when I say compacted, I don't mean stamp it in so it's like a brick. Definitely do not do that. But you do want the compost to be sufficiently in contact with the base of that stem. On that note, the compost must also be loose and free draining, because those roots, when they start to grow, are going to be so ultra fine that they don't want to have to fight through a brick. Okay, so that's why we put sand. That's why I put sand in my compost whenever I'm starting babies, and babies include seeds and cuttings, because those roots are going to be so fine, they need to be able to just easily float through that compost. And so that's why I dilute my compost with sand, but you can use vermiculite or anything that you like that keeps your soil open. So then you just need to plant it up like you would any shrub. Make sure that it's covered. I like to cover it about 3 nodes down, but if the pot isn't deep enough, just do 2. And then water it in to make sure that that soil will clad and clasp to the stem. And then all you need to do is leave it in a shady, sort of more sheltered spot in your garden, so that it will be okay in the winter. It is a winter hardy shrub, but you know, you don't want it to experience the worst of the weather, and then you pretty much leave it till spring. But if you do have a very hot, warm spring, I would advise obviously watering, or if you live in a dry climate, yes, do keep your eye on it and water it if it's particularly dry. And also, don't forget to label it, because you won't remember come spring unless you've only done one variety. You're not going to remember which one is which. Now, you can put them, if in doubt, you can put them in an unheated greenhouse. They'll be absolutely fine. And in fact, I think that's what I'm going to do with my cuttings. But you must water them in a greenhouse, obviously. And if you live in a dry climate, you must also water them. You don't want them to dry out. You don't want them to be soggy, because the end will rot if it's too wet. But if you've had a prolonged dry period, such as you would have in a greenhouse, then you must make sure you water these cuttings. Leave them until they start to show signs of growth at the top, which isn't going to be until spring. All right, so let's discuss some of the shrubs that we can propagate using this method, and you'll be really excited to know they're really good shrubs as well. The 10 top shrubs that I think you're most likely to have in your garden that can be propagated are as follows. So you've got the forsythia, which people love for its yellow colouring, and especially if you're a flower person who watches my videos because of the flowers, then of course the forsythia is absolutely great for that. So if you need more forsythia, or you just want to pot some on because you're moving house and you want to take some of your old forsythia with you or give it as a gift, then this is a great one to propagate. Dogwood is another one, and that also happens to be a beautiful looking plant in the winter as well. So you can propagate that. I have a beautiful dogwood. It's really unusual, has really unusual flowers, quite antique looking, but it only flowers every couple of years. It seems to only flower, but I'm definitely going to be taking a cutting from that. Hydrangea, classically people take hydrangea cuttings in the summer, but you can take hydrangea cuttings now in winter. Viburnum is another one. There's a huge variety of viburnums as well, so you're more than likely to have at least one in your garden, or your neighbour or someone nearby probably has, so you can take cuttings from that. You've got willow. Oh, if you love willow and you've got the space for a lot of willow, then willow is a fantastic one for taking hardwood cuttings. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, the rose, and as I say, I'm going to do a separate video on that. Buddleia, I mean, who doesn't love a buddleia? It fills a huge space, it's absolutely low maintenance, and the pollinators love it. And even actually, we talk about the pollinators loving it, but I noticed my little blue tits and those little tiny garden birds also completely love it. So get yourself a butterfly bush. If you're lucky enough to have a Philadelphus mock orange, you can take cuttings from that. I had one in my Brighton garden. And let's not forget the currants. If you're more of a fruit and veg grower, you can take cuttings from your currants, both ornamental and the fruiting varieties. And then another spring flowering bush, which honestly I don't even actually like, but it's great if you love flower arranging, because it provides a perfect spring bouquet of flowers, like the foliage filler part of the flowers, and that is spirea. It's a lovely early flowering spring shrub, and you can definitely propagate that now from hardwood cuttings. So lots to think about there, lots to do if you have any of these shrubs in your garden. If you have another shrub that you've taken a hardwood cutting from successfully, share it in the comments below. Let's all share our knowledge together. And if you like this video and you found it helpful in any way, then please consider subscribing and sharing and obviously liking, and as I say, comment below. Thanks for, and don't forget to visit my website www.jillbrotherton.com, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.